Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
I spoke to my mom about this,
okay.
And she tends to keep a lot from her husband. This is actually destroyed. I can't express that enough, the relationship that I've had with my mom.
This is the plaintiff, Francis Jackson. He says the defendant, his stepdaughter, owes him for an outstanding cell phone bill. And daughter or no daughter, he wants and needs his money. The defendant thinks that just because she's family, she shouldn't have to pay him back. It's a very unfortunate situation that it has to come to this, a lawsuit. But hey, money is money, so he's suing for the $1,463.80 he's owed. This is the defendant, Nicole Wojcik. She says her mom offered to help her out by opening an account for some cell phones she needed. And everything was going fine until the plaintiff flipped out on her one day, yelling she owed him money. The guy disrespected her, spoke to her in a disgusting manner, and now he's destroyed their once happy family. Owe him money? No way. She's accused of phoning it in.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Francis Jackson.
Yes.
You are suing Nicole, how do I pronounce her last name?
Wojcik.
For $1,463.80 in outstanding cell phone bills that you say she owes you and has refused to repay, correct?
Yes.
What's going on?
On August 28th, 2006, she approached me and asked me if I would open an account for her for a cell phone.
What is your relationship?
She's my daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law, okay.
Yes.
Who's the lady who's sitting there? Is that your mom?
Yes.
Okay. And who's the lady who's sitting with you?
This is my aunt.
Okay. Her sister?
No.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
It was fine for the first 4 or 5 bills. It got to a point where the bills were...
Did she ask you to put the bill in her name? Why couldn't she put it in her own name? Like, I don't know.
I think she had bad credit.
Oh, you think?
Yes.
And how do you get bad credit?
By not paying things.
Okay, so go on.
So I did do her a favor. She said she would pay me back with no problem, but she wouldn't have no problems with it.
Okay.
It went on for a couple of years. It was fine. Then I got a bill in the mail from collections. It went to collections.
No, it doesn't go to a collection right away. Why didn't you get the other bills?
She had gotten my PIN number from my wife to go into the account. For what I understand was the bills were being sent directly to her house.
Who do you understand that from?
Because I wasn't getting no more bills.
Maybe your wife was siphoning them off so you wouldn't see them because they were piling up.
No, she wouldn't.
She wouldn't do that?
No.
Well, she's the one who gave her the PIN.
Yes,
let her change the address.
I understand that. The reason she gave her the PIN is because she wanted more features on the phone.
Okay. But she didn't tell you about giving her the PIN?
I did not know
Didn't
that,
you
no.
notice that the bills weren't coming? How were you going to make sure she was paying?
Yes, I did notice that they weren't coming, but I thought that it was my fault that I thought that she was making the payments on it.
Yeah, but how would you know? The reason you have the bills go to your house is so that you know if your credit's going to be ruined.
Yes, I understand
Right.
that.
Okay,
yes.
so in any event, you find out how, because magically this time you do get the collections notice.
Yes.
All right, and when you get the collections notice, it's for how much?
$1,463.
Okay, but $1,463 included cancellation fees, because I've looked at the bills. Who canceled the phone?
They canceled it.
Did you guys cancel the phone?
No, when it wasn't being paid.
Who canceled it? The Oh, you mean they being AT&T?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you find out about it. It's already at $1,400. And
Yes.
what do?
I called the plaintiff, the defendant, and I talked to her a few times. Her mother has talked to her a few times.
What'd you say?
When you gonna pay me?
And how much after January of 2000? Was it January of 2008 or January of 2009? You get this bill when? Because I've looked at the bills, and the last bill's from 2009, right?
I have 08.
And what happened for the last 4 years? I'm just curious, because I'm in 2013 right now.
Well, I tried to get the money from her. I found out that she was going to Florida, taking her kids to Florida, Disney World. I sent her a kind of a little nasty message about how you doing that when you owe me the money.
But what, did the talk of the money come up in the last 4 years?
Yes.
How would it come up?
Well, that was one of the ways.
Well, that way's the bad way that was in the end.
There was no way of me contacting her except through my wife's cell phone.
So what would you do? You'd tell your wife, call her and ask her when she's paying us the money?
Yes, in a way, but I did not want them two to be fighting.
Look, were you trying to collect, or were you going to let it ride because it was your stepdaughter? Which is it?
No, I wasn't going to let it ride.
Okay, so throughout those 4 years, what effort did you make to collect?
Just a few times I texted her.
Did you guys see each other in 4 years?
No.
No family holidays? Nobody
No.
gets together? No. All right.
They do not speak no more because of this.
Yeah, but the no more part happened 4 years later. I'm trying to figure out what happened to those 4 years. That's what I'm trying to figure out, and why it took so long to get to this point. Are you telling me she didn't spend money on any trips in 4 years? The trip to Disney World is what made you mad. Did she come into money or something at the?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't know where she had gotten
I'm just
the money
wondering
from.
why now. You're still within the statute of limitations. I'm just asking why now.
Because she just does not want to pay me for it. I tried to get the money from her, and she doesn't want to do it. And it came to a point where I just.
So that's what your tolerance level is, a whole 4 years? I guess so.
No.
What's going on?
No.
Stop. What's going on?
This goes back to roughly 2006, 2007. I know this because in 2008, I opened my own.
Did you ask your stepfather to put in his name a phone bill for you, your husband, and your daughter?
No.
So what happened?
I had spoke to my mom. I was leaving Verizon. I wanted to go to AT&T. AT&T wanted a $1,000 deposit because of my credit. My credit, however, at that point was ruined because I had a repossession for co-signing a car that my mother got repossessed. That she took several years. I think it was just within the past 2 years that it was clarified. With that being said, I did say to my mom, express frustration with not having $1,000, and I really wanted to go to AT&T rather than Verizon.
So did you put it in his name?
She offered to me that they would help.
And so you accepted?
I did accept.
Okay, so they put a phone in his name for you, and you don't dispute that you're responsible for this bill and its phone numbers, do you?
I don't feel I'm responsible. My mom, I spoke to my mom about this, and she tends to keep a lot from her husband. This is actually destroyed. I can't express that enough, the relationship that I've had with my mom. She has not seen me or my 3 beautiful daughters in the past 2.5 years, 3 times. They just stopped asking for her at this point. I didn't hear anything about this alpha. The last thing I ever heard was back in 2007, 8, whenever this was. A bill had come in. My mom was paying for it. She would pay for it just so I guess.
Why didn't you just stop using such an expensive phone?
But that's the thing. When a bill came in, my mom said, I don't have the money for this right now. And I said, well, I don't either. I had other financial obligations at the time.
I know, but then don't rack up a $400 cell phone bill.
But that's the thing. She said, well, then it's going to be turned off for non-payment. I said, I understand that.
By the time it got turned off, honey, it was $1,000-something. I mean, then just get a prepaid phone if you can't afford to make the phone calls.
I wasn't making the payments on it anyway, though.
So I guess it doesn't matter, right? You
No,
can just,
I
so
don't
understand. What is your defense, that your mother was covering your payments, so she should have kept covering your payments?
No, not at all.
Were you supposed to pay your bills, or was your mother supposed to pay
My
your
mom
bills?
was paying them.
Well, no, I didn't ask who was paying him. I asked who was supposed to pay him.
To my understanding, it was my mother. I never made an agreement.
Really? Because according to you, the only reason it was under his name is because you couldn't come up with the $1,000 deposit. You were going to get your own phone. You were going to switch your own business. You were paying your own phone before, or not, because that's why you needed a $1,000 deposit. And so, you turned around and told your mother about it and accepted your mother's help so that you wouldn't have to pay the deposit. You never said to me, oh, and by the way, they're all in this grant. I can rack up $400 in cell phone bills a month, and they'll pay them all the time. Come on up, Mom. Were you paying the cell phone bills at one point?
For a couple months.
And when you did, what were they? How big were they?
$200, something like that.
Was it at the beginning or in the middle?
I think it was after the first one she did pay, then the second one I paid, third one I paid, fourth one I paid, and then I don't know what happened to them after that.
They probably piled up into what they became.
This was only a few months. As soon as that one bill came in, and my mom had said that she didn't have the money at the time, and I said I didn't either. She had explained that it would probably be disconnected. I understood.
I know, but who do you think is going to eat it? So it got disconnected, and the bill is now $1,400 with collection fees and everything else. Did you think I guess everybody just thought that AT&T would go away. I got to tell you, AT&T doesn't go away.
No.
They don't stay in business by going away. Somebody's going to pay the piper. I just don't understand how it gets to 4 years later. Can I just ask you a question? Because your defense is, I didn't know. Nobody told me. I don't know. When is it your responsibility to cover your own bills?
I didn't hear a word after that last conversation with my mom about that.
But why didn't you make it your business to hear a word? It's your phone.
Because my mother expressed to me that she would pay it, and I understand that. I didn't. I thought that she would either pay it, and the phone was just, they had called, because everything was in their name, everything was sent to their house.
Why was your mother going to pay your phone bills? That wasn't the original plan, because the original plan was you were just going to get your own phone and needed a $1,000 deposit, didn't want to put it, and so they put it in his name so you wouldn't have to pay this big deposit. The original plan was never for her to pay your bills. She says you paid your first one, then you got into a little financial trouble, and then she was helping you out. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is the agreement that I had with my mom is that my mom was taking care of that. So at the last bill,
why would your mom take care of that? Just answer that.
I really thought that she was helping me out, to be honest with you.
Are you the one who had the discussion with her, or did you have the discussions with your wife?
The three of us was there, and she came out, she gave me a hug and says, no problem, I'll take care of the bill.
I have a question for you. Who was supposed to pay the bills?
Nicole.
Okay. I have to ask you that because I don't see how there could be any other confusion about that.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Like I said, I hadn't heard anything at all. In 2009, my husband was injured at a wedding. He went through a whole legal process about it. In December of 2010, he was...
How was he injured at a wedding?
He was actually assaulted, and he had a, jacket on. And when he was pushed, he went down to break his fall with the jacket. Doesn't have a lot of give. He ended up breaking his shoulder, and he has 2 screws in it.
Who was he pushed by?
A friend of the bride.
Another guest?
Yeah. So
So he sued who?
He actually sued the gentleman who assaulted him.
Oh, okay.
That was in December of 2010. We received our money in January of 2011. As soon as we received the money, I'd called my mom very excited that my husband was going to take myself and our 3 daughters to Disney. She was very excited for me. The very next day, I got a text message. Yeah. How dare I go to... I mean, I was floored because it was the first time I'd heard about it.
Okay, so now you hear about it, and you hear that a man wants you to pay your bills, right? Mm-hmm. And what is so unreasonable about that, though?
I've said since that very next day that I got that message from him, please, I can't justify this crazy amount that you're explaining.
I'm looking at the bills, honey. You can see. You've never seen the bills?
I've never seen anything.
But there is none so blind as she who will not see. See, here's the thing. You're talking to me about, and there's a lot of pain in your voice. And I saw the text messages between you and your mom. There's a lot of pain with your mom, too. Your mom did not want to come out to court today. Okay? She didn't. She didn't. Because, you got to sit in the groom side or the bride side, and she didn't want to sit on a side. In fairness to your mom, I think I should tell you that. All right? But the problem is if she's a witness, and I got to hear from all the witnesses. And for short of my putting a chair in the middle, which maybe I should have done, I don't want you to think that because she walked out there, this is against you. But I got to tell you something. I know mother-daughter relationships are very complex. I have 3 daughters, okay? And I saw a picture of your children that for some reason you submitted into evidence. They are beautiful.
Just Disney.
I can see why you submitted it because they're adorable. And I'm sure that it breaks her heart that this is strained between you guys. But number one, fix it. They're your bills. When you say, you wouldn't believe the effect this has had, you wouldn't believe how horrible this is, she never sees her grandchildren, stuff like that. Why? Because you didn't pay your bills, just pay your bills. And then we can put all this ugliness back. You don't have to like him. You can feel like, what kind of stepdad are you? You should have helped me out. You can feel whatever you want about him. But why are you punishing your mom, who's caught in the middle? Why are you punishing your kids who want a grandma? Because what? Because she doesn't leave him over this problem where you don't pay your bills?
I'm not punishing anybody.
Well, why don't you encourage then the relationship between your children and your mom?
I have several times. I've spoken to her. And I said, if you feel as though me and my husband owe you whatever amount that you think that we owe you, do my children owe you that money? You still have... I've tried. Nick, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I know this phone call was coming. I'm going to try more. I'm going to try harder. And it just...
I have a question. Is she right?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So the question, would you sue a relative who stiffed you? Huh?
I don't speak your language.
Oh, you don't speak English? I'll take that as a maybe. What do you think?
I would say no.
Why?
Well, because it would cause way too many family problems.
Well, how about this for family problems? Somebody stiffed you.
It all depends on the how much money he owed.
Oh, does it really?
Yes, it does.
$1,000.
Yes, I would.
500.
No, not 500.
Close though.
Close.
750.
750.
Okay, real quick.
I would sue him.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They disrespected you. Why not take him to court?
That's right.
There you go, going inside the courtroom.
Yeah, she is right, but she also has the 3 girls all in cheerleading all different days of the week, and it's very hard for me to see them because they're cheerleading to 7, 8 o'clock at night, and it's just...
Yeah, figure it out.
It's a 45-minute ride to her house.
Yeah, all right, you both got to make an effort. Your children are more enriched with grandparents than they are without grandparents, even if the effort is just once a month. They're not in cheerleading on Sunday. Make an effort. Figure it out.
Every time
Figure it out.
try
And
to
if you
make
two don't want to
plans
be in the
to-
same room, don't be. So what? There's lots of places you guys can meet that have nothing to do with him. He doesn't need to come. 45 minutes is not that far. This is a very sad discussion, and I hope that the two of you, and especially you, sounding by the admission you just made, make an effort to be a grandmother. I don't know that it doesn't sound like it even has anything to do with this. I'm not sure it does. I just think that she's just not up to this task of, working around children's schedules, which parents get used to. But, this is not, I'm sure that did your parents work around your schedule? Or did you work around your parents' schedule? Because I can certainly answer that at my house. I know that if my mother had to go to the beauty parlor, I had to sit there bored for 3 hours, okay? And now I worked around my parents' schedule. Now I have children. I work around my children's schedule. When's my turn? We're used to it because this is this generation, but that generation isn't necessarily. But you got to make an effort. It has nothing to do with the case in front of me, but I find it heartbreaking because there is nothing more delicious than when I'm in a room with my 3 daughters and the 2 grandmothers and the mother, and there's all these women and there's all this woman love and mother love, and it's an important part of a child's life, and you love your children. So even if it's not perfect, if it's not, I'm knitting them baby booties perfect, it's still better than not existent. All right? Try. And you need to try. You need to try because it shouldn't get this far in a family. But I don't know that it's any one person's fault it got this far. I think that he can afford the hit, and that's why he never did anything or said anything in all this time. It was just one thing that made him snap, that you got into money and then you were spending it in Disney World, and he kind of felt that was disrespectful. It wasn't really the money, it was the disrespect that he made him snap and couldn't handle, and then things go bad. And I understand that sentiment. I've kind of felt that disrespect before, and so I understand the sentiment. Sometimes in life you just kind of suck it up because there's too many other people who get hurt. That was not what he chose to do, and I understand why you're angry. But do you understand why he's right? So I would have loved to have seen this not get here, and I would have loved to have seen some effort to pay a little bit at a time. I would have loved to have seen something other than 3-4 years pass, him snapping because you're giving your children the pleasure of Disney World, and then this relationship deteriorating the way it did. In any event, I have one thing left to do, which is actually rule and stop lecturing you. I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $1,463.80, which is going to be paid directly to AT&T to get this out of everybody's way. All right? That's my order.
Thank you.
And so the bill gets paid this way. It's the hard way for you. And
That it's over.
Well, what do the tears mean?
It's been a lot. It's been a long time.
This is what came between you and your mom, right? This is the big barrier. It's moved out of the way. Is this your opportunity to get it back together and get the grant? I'm asking her. Her, not you.
No, it's...
Why not?
This is... Because it's not just about this phone bill.
Really?
It's not.
Don't you want grandma in the lives of the kids? And
I've given her a lot of different times.
You're not closing the door on her, are you?
At this point, I am.
All right. Head right down this way. Okay. Come on over here. Step on in here and tell me, one of you come on in. You satisfied how this... Well, at least the bill is paid, but what's the price?
Well, it's different for her than me.
Okay, let me ask you that question.
The price is dear, and I think she'll come around sooner or later. After she has time to think about it more.
Right. Will you step forward, make more of an effort, and get this bridge crossed?
Absolutely.
Because that is your daughter, right?
Yes.
That means everything, right?
Yeah.
You understand that too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You behind her 100%
Yes,
in
I'm
her
sorry
effort?
it came to this point, yes.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, it is such a bad idea to put somebody else's name on your phone bill because they have bad credit. I don't care if it's a relative. It's a bad idea. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Lynn Carroll. She says her daughter married the defendant's son after only 3 months of dating, and unfortunately, the marriage lasted 3 short weeks. She can't stand the defendant, wants her out of her life for good, and is suing her for $1,659.86 for her daughter's wedding dress, plus alterations and the diamond wedding ring the defendant has yet to return. This is the defendant, Tracy Thomas. She says her son and the plaintiff's daughter have known one another since they were 12 years old and decided to marry when they turned 18. 3 weeks later, the plaintiff's daughter called her son on the phone and told him she didn't want to be married anymore. The plaintiff's daughter left her wedding dress and some other stuff at her house, abandoning the property, so she threw it out. As far as the wedding ring goes, she mailed it back to their last known address. She's accused of mourning a failed marriage.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff's daughter married the defendant's son, and it didn't even last as long as the Kim Kardashian marriage. The defendant says the plaintiff's daughter really had no interest in getting married, so why return the pay for the wedding dress? No way. It's the case of, with this ring I thee wed for a very short time.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Lynn Carroll, you are suing Tracy Thomas for $1,659.86 for various items that you say she is keeping from you and not returning to you after your children's marriage kind of went south pretty quickly. Tell me what happened.
Well, they got married.
Oh, no, rewind.
Rewind. Okay. They were seeing each other. He's in the service, And I guess...
Is this your daughter?
Yes, this is
Stand
my
up,
daughter,
honey.
Kathleen.
How old are you?
18 or 19 now.
Okay. So tell me what happened.
We had been talking for a while. We eventually decided to get married.
After
Obviously.
how many months?
We were talking for probably about 3 or 4 months.
What does we were talking mean? You mean on the internet?
No, we did Skype. We talked over the phone. We texted.
So you dated for 3 months and decided to get married?
Yes.
Okay. How'd that work out?
Not very good.
Because what happened?
We got married and everything, and I just was having second thoughts after that. And
why didn't you have second thoughts before you got married?
I don't know.
Did you think that through?
Obviously not.
She didn't want to
Clearly
move
not.
to Louisiana. No,
she didn't want to move to Louisiana? Why
Yes.
would she have to move to Louisiana? Because he's in the service?
Yes.
Was that a surprise, what he did for a
No.
living? That he was in
No.
the service? No. So, you didn't think that went through beforehand? Okay,
So-
you have a child?
I do.
How old is your child?
She's 2.
Not his child? Okay. Were you still seeing the father of the child?
No.
Are you seeing the father of the child now?
Yes.
Is that why the marriage broke up?
No.
But you understand why some people might think so.
I understand that, and that's
Okay.
perfectly
So
fine.
what happens? The marriage happens, and within 3 weeks you decide you don't want to be there.
Yes.
Okay. And do you go over to that house to pick up? Were you living at that house?
No,
Why is she involved?
I had been staying there. I went there and he wasn't there, so I decided to grab some of my stuff, and then he had called me.
Is he here?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's stationed.
Okay.
He had called me and said, what's going on? Because obviously his stepfather had told him that I had been over the house, because I did go over there to pick up things, and he wasn't there. So then he called me and he said, what's going on? And I said, I would prefer to do this not over the phone, can we meet somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, no, what's going on? So I told him,
What'd you tell him?
I just told him that I was having second thoughts and felt like I wasn't giving 100% like he was, and he didn't deserve not to have 100%. And so that's basically what I said. And he was very civil about it and everything. Obviously, he was hurt, and that was that. And then a few days later, it was Christmas. He had texted me and said, Merry Christmas, and I had said, you too, I hope we can be civil one day. And he said, I'll always be here. And I said, okay. And then a few days later, it blew up again. I don't know.
What do you mean by it blew up?
He was just calling me every name in the book. It wasn't civil anymore.
Okay.
And I had a
Did he
wedding
accuse you of going back with your...
He did.
Yeah. And coincidentally, it's what happened?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
coincidentally, I guess so, but...
Okay. So in that week or whatever, when it was civil, did you go to the defendant's house and pick up things that you had left there?
No,
When
because
did
I
you
was
go to
not
the defendant's
civil
house?
with her.
When and how did it become uncivil with the defendant?
The night that I had broken up with her son.
Okay. So when did you see her next? At some point, you go to the house and take stuff, right?
No, I went to the house to take stuff. The day that I was going to break stuff off, I went to the house and he wasn't there.
Before breaking it off?
Before breaking it
Oh,
off, and
okay.
he wasn't there.
All right.
So
Did you
then I
take
decided-
everything?
No.
Why not?
Because I can't just... I wasn't going to grab my wedding gown, and I didn't have my ring.
So what did you
there
go
was
there
just
to
stuff
get?
that I forgot.
Yeah, but
it
why
was
is
just-
your ring with her? I don't understand how this happens to begin
Because
with.
she had said that she was going to get my wedding band and my wedding ring, my engagement ring, soldered together.
She had said she was going to do that. Why?
Because she said it would look nice, blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay, all
okay,
right.
so she was doing the jewelry repair or the jewelry whatever,
Yes. And
work to it. Okay.
She brought it to Kay's Jewelers.
Okay.
And so I had went to Kay's a few days after breaking it off and wanted to know if my ring was ready. And they said, no, it wasn't ready.
Now, the ring that you're talking about is a ring that has a diamond, and where did that diamond come from?
My deceased grandmother.
Okay. So you had given him the diamond to go ahead and give your daughter. Okay. That's why, because it sounds pretty lousy that you're trying to get the ring after you ditch him in 3 weeks.
I understand that. It's
right,
just
but
the
it's
diamond.
because the diamond
Yes.
was your grandmother's
diamond. It's not
diamond.
the ring, it's the diamond.
Right.
Because it's
So-
sentimental.
So you go to Kay's, and what does Kay's tell you?
They said it wasn't ready yet, and I said, okay. And I had asked them what phone number they had to call to see when it was ready, and they gave me a phone number, and I said, can I change that phone number? And they said yes. So I changed the phone number to my phone number, and they had called me 2 days after Christmas and said that it was ready. So I went to Kay's Jewelers to pick it up, and I wasn't allowed to pick it up.
No, because you didn't bring the ring to them. How are they going to give it to you? You're a third party to them.
I had called and texted both her and her son, and nobody, everybody ignored me.
So when you finally do speak to them, what happens?
They did not contact us. My mom had contacted
So you
her
never
the
speak
next
to them.
day.
It's your mom who speaks to them. So go ahead, Mom. Take it away. What happens?
Well, it wasn't very pleasant. Tracy did say that she would certify mail it, and I said, okay, that's fine.
Wait. Because by the time that you talk to her, she's already taken the ring out?
Right. So I called Tracy, and she said, well, I'll certify. She goes, Kathleen can come get it, or I'll certify mail it. And I said,
Why didn't Kathleen go get it?
Because she's afraid of Tracy.
Why is she afraid of Tracy?
Well, she already has threatened to kill me and hurt me. So
when did she threaten to kill you and hurt you?
I don't know, about a month ago.
Did you know only 6% of people are getting enough fiber? That's why Quaker created Fiber February, a month-long movement to show your gut a little more love. It's like dry January, only easier and more delicious. Quaker has over 100 delicious options that are a good source of fiber. So go buy Quaker Oats today and join the Fiber February movement for a healthy gut.
How did she threaten to kill you and hurt you?
She had called my mom. Her and my mom had been talking about the wedding dress, the ring, and whatnot. And
the return of the wedding dress?
Yes.
Okay.
And she had told my mom that she would rip my teeth out or rip me over the counter at work or do it in front of my 2-year-old daughter. But other than that, she would hurt me or kill me.
Okay. What's going on?
Well, what happened is when the marriage had ended.
When did they break up?
December 23rd.
Okay. Right
but
before Christmas.
My thing is,
gosh.
when, like she had stated a couple days after they agreed to be civil, what had happened is, of course, Facebook. Her daughter's father, I love you, I'm glad everything worked out, but that's when my son became uncivil with her.
Yeah.
So at that time, I still had not talked to them. On December 27th, I went with my son. We filed for an annulment.
How does your son see that? Because he has her
Facebook.
password?
No,
it's on the public wall?
It's on the wall.
It's on the public wall? It's on the public wall? Are your brain cells connected? Seriously? So how does your husband see that you're back with the other guy and that he says, I love you?
We were never back. At that point, we were never back.
Okay.
We had just gotten back together just recently.
Okay. So how does he read on Facebook the I love you?
There was no I love you. I will bring up my Facebook right now.
Come on up. Who are these guys?
They are also friends with her on the public wall. My husband, Troy, my son's best friend, Zach, who happened to be the best man at the wedding.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I actually have, I think I have some of the pictures of that. Because I took pictures from on her wall with him and the baby hugged up and everything. This was I think it was actually the day after Christmas. They're back together. And she broke up 3 days. It wasn't even a week.
Right.
And they were already back together like a happy little family.
Oh.
No? Do you have the pictures?
Hold on. Let me see if I got them on this
While
one.
you're looking for them, switch places with the other gentleman. Did you ever see it on Facebook?
Yes, I did. They were saying oh, I love you so much, baby. I can't believe we worked this thing out. I'm so glad our family's back together and all this other stuff. And they did it 3 or 4 times. And
all right, so then you learn about this and you just go nuts.
Well, that's when my son had become uncivil. Then the K's incident came up. I did pick up the ring. You have some paperwork there. The money my son spent on jewelry, gifts, the best man gift, the maid of honor gift, a gift for her to present as his wife on the wedding day, a gift for her daughter that was presented. All this money, and I'm like, she's not getting the ring on top of that. So I picked that up, and I had this stone removed.
Okay.
I had talked to Lynn on the phone. She had called me about the diamond. It was right before my son would go back, the first week in January.
You talked to the plaintiff?
Yes,
okay.
And I had stated that's when on the phone, he was standing with me outside, so he didn't hear her, but he could hear me, Zach was. And I was like, you or Kathleen could pick it up. If you don't want to come here, I'll leave it at the place that I had the stone removed. And she said, no, you can mail it. So I said, well, if anything, maybe I can certify mail it to you. At least it'll be a little more protected. But then all this, the texting, the back and forth with Kathleen and my son, the fighting, the baby's father. I'm like, why am I going out of my way to make sure they're not
What's
hurt?
out of your way? Visiting the post office?
anything to do with them. At that point, I was just so like, I'm done with them. I'm done. I just want this over. I want them out of our lives. So she had requested my son's wedding band back. So I put the diamond from the jeweler in the jeweler's bag, my son's wedding band, dropped in an envelope, mailed it to the last known address, which is on the marriage certificate, no return address, and I was like, I'm done with these people.
You are so full of malarkey. You kept the diamond and hawked it.
No, I
to
did
cover
not.
the expense of the. You're such a liar. You're not even a good liar. That's like a really bad lie. I was feeling sorry for you until you insulted my intelligence. You and I both know that you did not put it inside a diamond inside an envelope with no return address.
I did.
Because no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because the only person who doesn't put a return address is a person who wants it to just disappear.
I
Because
wished
you
it
didn't mail it.
disappeared.
Because if you mailed it and you intended for her to have it, you would put a stamp and a return address, which is what everyone does with all of their mail when it actually matters for them for it to get somewhere. You no more mailed it in an envelope with a deliberate not returned address than I mailed it in an envelope with a deliberate address. You know how people are always mailing diamonds in envelopes? Don't you hate when that happens, when the diamond gets
Every
lost?
time.
I didn't send it in an
care
envelope.
about the
Stop.
diamond.
Stop. Okay? That did not happen. You are a mother who loves her son, who thinks she's a jerk and doesn't deserve to have the diamond back. Did your son take this hard?
No.
Yeah, he did.
He had a girl there that night.
I don't know who that makes look worse, your son or you.
How long do you wait before you tie the knot? From the time you meet the person?
I don't know, 3-4 years?
3 or 4 years, really? What do you think?
Oh, at least a year.
Okay, one final word. What do you think?
I think 1 year, so you go all through the holidays and stuff.
If this were Family Feud, I think 1 year would win, going inside the courtroom.
Where's the wedding dress?
I threw that and everything else away. Well, my son
That I
bagged
believe.
it up. My
That I
son
believe.
actually bagged it up and it got thrown away.
Your son what?
My son and Zach actually bagged all that up and we threw it away.
You were part of the throwing it away?
Yeah.
Did you burn it? Set it on fire?
No, we just threw it away.
Nothing? Didn't you see waiting to exhale? Like, don't you guys do what we do? All right. So you threw it away where?
Just in the trash. We just
Just
threw
in
it
the
up.
trash of the house?
Yep. Just
Okay.
threw it in the.
What's the wedding mailbox about?
That's where all the cards went at the wedding.
Where do the wedding gifts go? Like,
They took it
They
all.
have it all. They have all the money. They
okay.
have everything.
So the wedding mailbox you want $60 for because?
Because that's what I paid for it.
Okay, and the wedding mailbox is part of what was thrown out? When did you
Yeah.
guys throw all that out?
About a week and a half after she had left. Week and a half. I don't know exactly.
Who paid for the wedding dress?
I did.
Lynn did.
What were you going to do with the wedding dress?
I would have put it at a wedding shop and see if I could have gotten some money back from it. It was a beautiful gown.
Do you have a picture of it?
Oh, I have one in my cell phone.
I'd like to see the dress.
I got the Facebook pictures.
You have the Facebook pictures? Let's see.
Oh, so.
Yeah, but what is this? I don't know what this is.
No, it has like the dates from the page and everything.
December 29th. Okay. It was a beautiful dress, and she looked beautiful in it. Of course, if you were to put that on eBay, you would never get the amount you
I
paid
know.
for it. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So here's what we got. I totally understand why, I would never have done the diamond thing, but I totally understand why you took a big bag and for the therapeutic purpose of getting rid of it all as quickly as possible. The problem is that when something is paid for by somebody else and belongs to somebody else, you don't have the right to do that until a reasonable amount of time has passed. And the law does not deem abandonment 3 days. She may have abandoned that marriage, she may have abandoned your son, but the law does not deem her to have abandoned the property that she left in your house until at least a reasonable amount of time passes. Most courts will look at that and say at least 30 days. And you got rid of it like a week after, things exploded, and I understand why, but it still doesn't make it right. Now, of course, it wouldn't be worth what you paid for the wedding; just be worth what you'd get on eBay, which would be peanuts. But same with the wedding mailbox, and now we get to the diamond. I don't believe for 1 second that you put a diamond in an envelope with no return address. What would be the purpose of the no return address? That's you putting that in there to explain to me why it never got there and didn't get back to you. But you and I both know that there would be no reason, no sane reason, if you wanted them to have it, for you not to put a return address.
I was hoping it didn't get there.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could hawk the diamond and reimburse your son a little bit, which makes
Diamonds
a hell of a lot
right
more
now
sense.
are worth 1 cent per ounce. The thing was under 1/4 of a carat.
Okay, you have the an evaluation for the diamond. Let me see it. How did you have an appraisal for the diamond?
Attleboro Jewelry Makers.
Her best
No,
friend owns it.
how did you get an
It's
appraisal?
not my best friend.
How did you
Excuse
get an
me.
appraisal for the diamond? After it was missing? Somebody appraised it without seeing it?
Well, if you see it, it's a comparison only because she looked at it, gave a value, but she didn't have it to appraise it.
Wait, what do you mean she looked at it, gave a value?
When we brought it to Attleboro Jewelers to put into her setting, she gave it a rough estimate, and then
Okay,
I
so
said,
she
"I
had
need
seen the
something."
diamond.
Yes.
Because
yes.
she's the one who put it into the setting. And according to you,
Absolutely,
this is her best friend?
Well, it's a very close friend of hers. To
Is
the
this a
point that
friend
we
of
got a
yours?
family discount on the jewelry, Your Honor.
Is this a friend of yours?
She is a friend of mine.
Okay. I mean, it's $800. You know, it's more than 1/4 of a carat. It's small, but I mean,
Yeah, it was my mother's.
what did you expect the diamond to be worth?
I have no idea. I'm not a jeweler, Your Honor.
But what'd you get for it when you sold it?
I didn't sell it.
I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case for the reasons that I've explained already. However, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $815 for the diamond, $20 for the used wedding box, $100 for the depreciated value of a used wedding dress, for a total judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $935. That's my
Thank you,
judgment.
Your Honor.
Good luck, folks.
Okay, now that the case is settled, we can get some comment from the defendant's side here. What's your feeling coming out of the courtroom after all this?
I'm okay with it, as long as they're out of our lives now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay.
What about your whole family? How's the family been affected by this whole
I'm just
thing?
glad that they're going to be gone. It was a small price to pay. $900 is definitely worth having them out of my life.
No one in your family, any of them miss her?
No, not to this point.
The plaintiff's daughter, I mean?
No.
No?
We're all set.
All right, right around the corner this way. Here she goes, mailed a diamond in an envelope. All right, so come on in here. You believe that story that you mailed a diamond in an envelope without her?
Not.
No?
Nope.
Neither did the judge.
Right.
Could you have handled this any better?
I could have handled it a lot better.
If you had handled it better, could you think you could have avoided all this bitterness?
No,
Why not?
just because she was controlling from the start. And I feel like she had a lot of impact on her son. I feel like it was more her than it was between me and her son. It was between me and her.
All right, and now that you've made this whole change in your life, are you happy with
I am.
the direction things have gone for you now?
This put aside, yes.
Yeah.
Once this is over.
Now that the case is over, you mean?
No, we still probably have a little more to go, but other than
All right, Harvey?
You know, the judge talked about abandonment of property. 3 days, no way. 30 days seems to be the rule, but it really, really depends on the circumstances.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.